season year. A year where God is going to show out in your life. Promises you've been standing on. Dreams you've been praying about. In this due season year, God is going to cause things to fall into place. He's going to make things happen that you couldn't make happen on your own. Problems you've been believing to turn around, in due season, things are going to change in your. God hasn't brought you this far to leave you. What He started in your life, He's going to finish. You may not see how it's going to work out, but God has a way. When you believe, the Creator of the universe goes to work. And Paul said here in Galatians 6, don't get tired of doing what's right, for in due season you will reap if you don't give up. And what I sense in my spirit is that we are entering into a due season year. A year where God is going to show out in your life. Promises you've been standing on. Dreams you've been praying about. In this due season year, God is going to cause things to fall into place. He's going to make things happen that you couldn't make happen on your own. Problems you've been believing to turn around, in due season, things are going to change in your favor. You may have had that addiction for 20 years. You've tried your best again and again to break it, no success. The good news is, this is your due season. This is your year to be free. Or maybe you've struggled in your finances. You can't seem to get ahead. You take one step forward, 2 steps backwards. Let this phrase sink down into your spirit. Due season is here. Promotion is coming. Good breaks are coming. Lack is not your destiny. Constantly struggling, barely getting by is not the end of your story. Keep believing, keep expecting, keep honoring God. Abundance is headed your way. In this due season year, your cup is going to run over. See, sometimes you need these words of faith and victory spoken over your life. Words have creative power. If you'll let them take root in your spirit, they can help ignite your dreams, ignite your faith, ignite the potential on the inside. Your mind may try to talk you out of it. You can't figure out how it's going to happen. That's okay. That's not your job. Your job is to believe. Your job is to say, yes, God, this is for me today. I believe. Brother Paul has a son named Matthew, my nephew. At the age of 12, Matt started struggling with depression. He lost all interest in school. He wouldn't engage socially with the other students or hardly even his own family. And it seemed like the more Paul and Jennifer prayed, the worse Matt became. The depression eventually got so bad that he had to drop out of school. Here, Matt is so smart, so talented, but it didn't look like he would fulfill his destiny. The scripture says, if you don't get tired of doing what's right, you will reap. Paul didn't see anything changing, but he kept praying. He kept believing. God, you said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You said, the seed of the righteous will be mighty in the land. You said, your plans for Matt are for good and not evil. Year after year went by, no sign of anything improving. But one day, unexpectedly, out of the blue, it was like those chains of depression were broken off of Matt. He got his joy back. He got his passion back. He had a whole new outlook on life. He went back and finished high school. He went to college and got his bachelor's degree, went on to law school, got his law degree. Today, Matt is an attorney working with us here on staff at Lakewood in the ministry. Right here on the front row, that's Matt and his beautiful wife, Mandy. What happened? Matt came into a due season. Didn't look like it would ever get better, but suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the ordinary, things turned in his. Main reasons people get stuck in life is because they haven't learned how to control their mouth. They say hurtful things, they put people down, they argue, they gossip. They don't realize their tongue is keeping them from rising higher. God won't promote you if you don't have the character to back it up. You don't have to be perfect, but we shouldn't be where we were 5 years ago. We should be improving. Pay attention to what you're saying. Sometimes we've done it so long, we don't realize we've become harsh, condescending, sarcastic, saying things just to please our flesh. And Paul said in Ephesians 4, let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, only that which is beneficial to the progress of others. Before you say something, you need to ask, is this going to be beneficial to someone? Is it going to build them up or tear them down? Is this comment going to make my spouse feel better about themselves? Or is it just going to feed my ego? Some people, the only thing that's holding them back from a healthy marriage, from good relationships, from a promotion, is their mouth. They're talented, they're skillful, but they pop off. They're sarcastic. They stir up strife. You can't say everything you feel. Your emotions will get you into trouble. And when somebody gets on your nerves and you feel irritated, annoyed, instead of popping off and saying things that you know you're going to regret later, you need to step back, take a deep breath, pause for 30 seconds. Think about what you're going to say. Don't speak out of your emotions. Let your tongue run wild. That's the easy way out. You have to be disciplined and tame your tongue. The scripture says, be quick to listen and slow to speak. If you'll pause for a moment, let your emotions calm down, you'll realize some things are better left unsaid. You don't have to win every argument. You don't have to comment on every situation. You don't have to straighten everyone out. You may know they're wrong and you're right, but you have to ask yourself, is this worth starting World War III over? Sayers are telling you, you have to win the battle in your mind before you'll defeat your giants. Too many people get talked out of ever seeing their Goliath because they listen to Saul. You would think that Saul would be excited that someone finally stepped up to fight Goliath. He had been taunting the Israelites for 40 days. Now this young man, David, had the courage to take him on. Surely Saul would say, that's awesome, David. You can do this. We're all behind you. But when God puts big things in your heart, don't expect everyone to cheer you on. Don't expect all your friends, all your family to encourage you, tell you how great you are. That's when the Sauls will show up. People that cast negative seeds and try to get you to doubt and second guess yourself, discredit you, make you feel small, like you don't measure up. Don't let those seeds take root. People don't determine your destiny, God does. When He called you, He didn't check with people. He didn't consult with your friends, your neighbors, your boss, your family, or your enemies to decide if they think you can do it. Are you big enough, smart enough, talented enough? He put things in you that other people can't see. Don't get upset with them if they think you can't do it. You're just a boy. You don't come from the right family. They're looking at the outside. They're judging from a human point of view, but God has put things in you that will defy the odds. His favor will cause you to go places you could never go on your own. They may think all you have is a slingshot. You don't have a chance. What they can't see is that slingshot with the blessing of God will bring down giants. Well, you're just a boy. Yes, but a boy with the favor of God can become the king of Israel. God wouldn't have allowed the giant if you weren't well able to defeat it. The giant is a sign that a new level is coming. But here's the key. Before that happens, King Saul will show up. The real test is not Goliath. The real test is Saul. The negative words, the doubt, the fear, the insecurity, trying to get you to question yourself, question whether you really heard God, question if you really have what it takes. Dismiss the doubt. Refuse those negative seeds. You're at a defining moment. You're on the verge of stepping to a new level, the verge of seeing God do something you've never seen. Are you going to shrink back and let people's opinion talk you out of it? Let the fear, the doubt take root? Or are you going to do like David, dismiss it and move forward in faith into the awesome future God has in store? As I was processing it all, something rose up in me like waking up a sleeping lion. I felt a boldness, a confidence, a power that I'd never felt before. I thought to myself, you ladies don't know who I am, and you don't know what God put in me. You weren't there when He formed me in my mother's womb. You weren't there when He called me, anointed me, and empowered me. You weren't there when He crowned me with His favor. You may think that I can't do it, but I don't need your approval. You don't think I have what it takes, that I'm just a boy, but there's a slingshot you can't see. There's a giant that's about to come down. I was at a destiny moment. If I would have let their seeds take root, I would have talked myself out of it. If I'd have kept dwelling on that, you're not like your father. You're not good enough. It's not going to last. I wouldn't be up here today. I was on the verge of a new level of my destiny. Getting the Compact Center wasn't the real battle. The real battle was not letting those two women convince me that I didn't have what it takes. Now I look back now and I think, how did I not let them discourage me? I was so unsure of myself. But in those destiny moments, the grace of God will always be there to empower you. The scripture says, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of God will raise up a barrier. It wasn't a coincidence that out of the thousands of people of church that morning, it just so happened I walked behind those two ladies. I could have walked behind someone that said, that was great today, I sure enjoyed it. That was a test. Before you accomplish the dream, the enemy will make sure there will be negative seeds. Before your health turns around, before your child gets back on course, before you break that addiction, these seeds of doubt and discouragement, can't do it, not good enough, never going to happen. Don't believe those lies. Turn it around and declare what God says about you. When thoughts tell you you've seen your best days, nothing good is in your future, Father, you said my latter days will be better than my former days. You said the path of the righteous gets brighter and brighter.